Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel once again. So it's been couple of days that I haven't posted because I was busy too much in my personal stuffs and all. But nevertheless, I'll be sharing this first battle over here, like first team over here for the Evolution Cup, which is a Great League format and only second stage, like Pokemon that have evolved but still can be evolved is actually allowed, to which I am going to use a good super well-rounded team over here, which consists of top Metamons from the Evolution Cup list, which is going to be Dusclops, Golbat and Vigoroth in the backline, to which Dusclops is a very thick pick in this cup because it is ghost type that does resist Vigoroth over here, and it does have access to Ice Punch as coverage for dragons and flyers, along with a really hard nuke of Poltergeist in neutral situations over here. That covers really good with a solid safe swap of Vigoroth, which is ranked the #1 safe swap in this meta, alongside the closure of Golbat. So Golbat is not a strong closer, but since most of the people will be running Dusclops and Vigoroth as well in this meta, so that is the reason I have this Golbat in the backline, because it can handle Vigoroth with Poison Fangs and Wing attacks, along with Shadow Ball for the ghost types over here. So that is the team over here that I'm going to use, and without further more delay, let's quickly jump into the first battle, which I pick a lead against Dragonair over here. So Dragonair is also a good pick because it is quite spammy and quite tanky as well, because it have got access to Body Slam and Aqua Tail over here, but this Aqua Tail does not hit too hard over here with to this Dusclops, because it's an XL Dusclops which is really tanky, to which they catches the first Ice Punch onto their Vigoroth, and I'm quite sure that they might have got might be a Dusclops in the back, to which I'll be safe swapping into my Golbat over here, which will be spamming out this Poison Fang, lowering the defense, and now I can go for a farm down over here. Nevertheless, they will be going for neutral Body Slams over here, which does add up, but since my Golbat is highly ranked, it can settle up these Body Slams, and I do get a full farm down over here, to which now they surely will be coming back with their Dragonair over here once again. But nevertheless, yeah, they comes back with the Dusclops in this scenario. So I was reading the team correct, that they comes back with that Dusclops, and they let this next Shadow Ball go through, which does hurt a lot. And now I'll be going to spam out this next Ice Punches, and I do get the first shield from opponent's end, which I am fine with, because now I can easily shield up once, and like I let this first move go through once again, because either it's a Shadow Punch or a Ice Punch does not knock me out over here, and that does not have enough energy to go for a Poltergeist, to which I let this next move go through, and I'll be coming back with my Vigoroth over here to counter this Dragonair over here. So as you guys can see, these counters really add up quickly over here onto this Dragonair, because Dragonair is quite bulky, but still it's not bulky enough to withstand this counter damage and this Body Slam spam over here coming from a Vigoroth over here. So they let this next charge move go through, so which they does not have any option to, and I can easily counter down the Dusclops, getting the win for the first battle over here. So GG's. Moving into the next battle, I pick up a Dusclops lead once again. So in the elos of 2300 to 2400, I was actually facing many Dragonairs, Vigoroth, Dusclops and Sealeo over here, which is really good in this meta. So I might try out Sealeo sometimes next time in my team over here, to which now I'll be going for the next back-to-back Ice Punches over here that will guarantee the knockout or might draw the first shield. So they let the next Ice Punch go through, and now they comes back with their own Vigoroth over here. But the thing is, Vigoroth will be able to farm me down over here, which I don't want really, and to which they I swapped out into my own Vigoroth over here to get Iron Energy, but nevertheless they have got a Legacy Machamp over here with Karate Chop, which I am fine with, because now they will be going for the next move. That might be a dynamic punch, but they went for a cross chop, which I survived barely with 1 HP, and I now will be going for the next body slam. So body slam does draw out the first shield from my opponent's end, and now I have a really good matchup onto this Vigoroth and this Machoke over here, because Machoke does not have anything to throw at my Golbat, and since I am up on shield, they does not have any chance onto their Vigoroth as well. They recognize that and concede the match. So moving on to the next battle, I pick up a lead against Sealeo. So Sealeo is a good option in this meta as well, because it hard loses to Vigoroth, but other than that, they can go for back-to-back Aurora Beams to take my Dusclops out. Nevertheless, they comes back with their own Dragonair over here, and I went for the Poltergeist that got shielded, which I am not happy with, because Poltergeist is such a high energy charge move over here. If it gets shielded, it is very heartbreaking, but if it just gets unshielded, it is very satisfying over here. To which now I'll be going for the next Poison Fang onto this Dragonair, and if they want to survive this, they have to shield up, which they don't, and they let their next they let the Shadow Dragonair go through, and they cannot farm me down with their own Sealeo over here, which I am fine with, because now they wanted to get switch advantage, which they could not, and I aligned my Vigoroth onto their backline of Zweilous and Sealeo, which they recognize once again and concede the match over here. So GG's. Moving on to the next battle, I pick up a lead against Haunter over here. So Haunter is really scary for this team, but since Haunter is very glassy, this Shadow Punch, this Hex and this Ice Punch will add up really quickly over here. To which now I let the first move go through, calling it Ice Punch, which ends up being Ice Punch, and now from this kind of range I will be able to reach to the next Ice Punch once again. So I'll be going for the next Ice Punch. They gave both of the shield over here, so I thought that okay, so since they are giving all on their Haunter, so they might have something on the backline, and they went for a double-listed Shadow Ball onto my Vigoroth, which does a surprising amount of damage. So I was not expecting this much damage from Shadow Ball, which is double resisted onto the Vigoroth. So it's really good. So how attack weighted it's Haunter, how attack weighted Haunter is, it's really surprising. Which now they comes back with their next Pokemon, which ends up being Magneton over here. So Magneton is again getting really hard countered with this Vigoroth over here, because this counters will add up really quickly, and since Magneton is very squishy, it will be going down with counters even after I shield up one Magnet Bomb over here. So nevertheless, let's see what they have in the backline. So they have access to Sealeo once again, and with Sealeo aligned with my Vigoroth, they does not have a really good matchup over here, because I will be spamming out this body slams, and just in the nick of time I do catch the next body slam onto my own Dusclops over here, which is a really good catch, because now I can easily come back with my Vigoroth, get the knockout with body slams over here, and since their Haunter is really low, I can easily farm down with counters, getting the win for the fourth battle here as well. So GG's to my opponent and well played. Hopping into the next battle, I pick up a lead against Shadow Dragonair over here, which I am fine with, because before they can farm me down or go for 2 Aqua Tails, I can go for 2 Ice Punches over here, so which will draw out a shield or might be get the knockout, which either way I am fine with, because now I went for the first Ice Punch and they will be going for the next Aqua Tail, or maybe Dragon Pulse this time, which I remember because they gets the knockout with Dragon Pulse over here onto my own Dusclops over here. Nevertheless, so since I'll be coming back with my Vigoroth and get Aero Energy, which is really good for me, because Vigoroth with energy is really scary in this meta. And now since they come back with their Dusclops, I am pretty much happy and sure that they are having Vigoroth in the backline. So I might get a good kind of alignment onto my own Golbat over here, but since they are actually having a return Dusclops over here that does so much damage onto the Vigoroth in this scenario, it is really scary right now. So I will be shielding up the first Ice Punch over here that like that will be having like good amount of damage. So that is the reason I'll be shielding up, and now I went for a beat, which I do get the first shield from my opponent's end, and the final Pokemon, as I have predicted, is going to be a Vigoroth of their own, which is really fine because I'll be going for this next back-to-back Poison Fangs over here, which will be adding up and lowering the defense over here, which is really fine. And now I'll be going for the next like Poison Fang once again. And now, since I have a bit of energy onto my Vigoroth, I'll be sniping them down. Since I got the shield, I'll be going for the next Body Slam, getting the knockout for the Vigoroth. And they have got a very, very low Dusclops in the back line, which have to throw because they cannot farm down a Vigoroth with hexes. And they have to throw, to which I'll be coming back with my own Golbat, farming them down with a wing attack and getting the win for the battle here as well. So GG's. Moving into the next battle, I pick up a lead against Sealeo once again. So as I've mentioned, Sealeo matchup is quite tricky because if I'm able to beat down a Sealeo with Ice Punch, that's really great. But if they shield up a Poltergeist, that is a loss for my Dusclops over here, to which now I go for the first bait over here. And now after running after going for the next Poltergeist over here, which does get unshielded, they will be going for the next move. So I think they will be going for the Aura Beam once again, which does knock me out. But nevertheless, I have got shield advantage right now, and I can easily come back with my Vigoroth to get Iron Energy, which is really good because again they have a Dusclops in the back, because Dusclops along with Sealeo does make a good pair over here, because yeah, Dusclops can resist the counters from the Vigoroth. And since Dusclops have got access to Ice Punches, they have to at least throw 5 to 6 Ice Punches to take me out. But nevertheless, I do get neutral damage onto this Dusclops with Bulldoze. And since Bulldoze is not that of a good move, it requires 2 Bulldozes and a couple almost 10, 12 or 15 counters to take it out. So that will be a very close matchup. So that is the reason I'll be going for the next Bulldoze here once again, and I'll be safe swapping into my own Golbat here as they shield the last Bulldoze over here. To which now I'll be going for this Poison Fang, and since I'm upper shield, it's really advantageous for me right now. So they will be going for the next Body Slam, which I'll shield up, and now I'll be going for a CMP tie onto the next. Like, I thought of going for a CMP tie, but I went for an extra wing attack, which is not good because yeah, I have misaligned the timer and the attack state over here onto this fast move. So I'll be going for the next Poison Fang that does get the knockout for the Vigoroth, and they have their very low Dusclops in the backline, which might let this go through. But nevertheless, they went for a shield, and now they have to throw energy onto the Vigoroth because I have energy onto my Vigoroth as well. So they went for Ice Punch, but now I can easily come back with my Golbat, farming the Dusclops down and getting the win for the battle over here. Moving into the final battle of the video, I pick up a lead against Sealeo once again. So this is great. So my strategy over here is to not bait every time. So 50% of the time I'll be baiting and 50% of the time I'll not bait, because people might tend to call that, which I do perfectly over here, because I went for a Poltergeist in this situation, and now I have to go for a Ice Punch, which is double resisted right now, but they are quite low, so they end up shielding that as well, which sets up the perfect situation for me, because now I can let this next charge move go through, and now I can easily come back with my own Vigoroth, get the farm down over here with counters in this scenario. So since they comes back with their Vigoroth over here with shield and energy disadvantage, that tells me that whatever they have in the backline is actually very weak to Vigoroth as well. So now I'll be shielding up this next Body Slam, and I'll be trying to get the farm down, but I I'm not sure if I could do so. That is the reason I saved my Vigoroth over here with a like huge amount of energy, and I switch back into my own Golbat over here to get added energy. To which now their final Pokemon is going to be a Faint Attack. Dusclops over here, which is also a good option to run, but since Faint Attack does not generate move too quickly, so I'll be able to reach to the back-to-back Shadow Balls over here that will put the Dusclops very low, and I win CMP die against the Dusclops as well, which is really good because now Shadow Ball does land over here, but it does not knock out because I don't get stab bonus over here. But it is fine for me because now I can easily farm down the Dusclops over here with counters, and I have got back-to-back body slams loaded for the incoming Vigoroth, which is quite low over here, and gets the knockdown with body slams over here, which is really great. So now I'll be pausing the video for a couple of minutes, and I'll be sharing my thoughts on this team. So this team is really good, and I climbed a huge lot of elo in this meta as well. But the thing is, as soon as I reached 2400s and above, I saw a couple of chances over here in this meta, which is a really tough answer to my team because Vigoroth is also kind of getting hard-walled. Not hard-walled, but getting countered with Chansey because of the access to Hyper Beam, which is really hurting me a lot. So that is the reason. Otherwise, this team worked out superbly for me. I picked up a couple of points and elos, and it dealt great coverage onto this meta, which I find really interesting over here. So if you're using this team, do let me know how it is working out for you, and do share your battles and team recommendations as well, which I'll try out to put further in my video. So if you're watching the content and liking it, do please share, like and subscribe, which keeps me motivated. And thanks for watching, and see you again in the next one. Till then, peace.